Now on CoastTV News.
Calls for change.
Make him do extensive diversity training.
Racial justice leaders speak out after two former Millville firefighters face hate crime charges.
A mother's anger.
They never got into details of what happened.
A state complaint over conduct at East Millsboro Elementary.
Milton Housing pushed two proposals could reshape how and where people live in Milton.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
A court date scheduled for two men accused of a hate crime. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 6. We begin tonight with local racial justice organizations continuing to react after hate crime arrests in Millville.
On your screen now are the two now ex-Millville firefighters that were arrested for felony hate crime, Jay Droney and Jordan Hastings. Police say they chased a paid employee around with a noose while making racial slurs.
The two are facing three different charges, conspiracy and hate crime, which both are felonies, and harassment. If convicted on the maximum of all three charges, the two could face up to 5 years in prison total. Droney and Hastings are scheduled to have a May 1st preliminary hearing.
The arrests and the details surrounding those charges continue to draw ire in Sussex County. CoastTV News reporter Zakia Jennings live in Millville. Zakia, the local NAACP branch is pushing for more training.
Maddie, the Lower Sussex branch of the NAACP commends fire leadership. However, they say there's a lot of work to be done, including diversity training moving forward.
These are the faces of the two individuals who detectives say were seen on video chasing a paid employee with a noose. The actions they're accused of have stirred up debate, hurt, and reaction from local racial justice organizations. Kurt Bacon, president of the Lower Sussex branch of the NAACP, says he supports the fire department immediately revoking their memberships.
Do what he did. It was the right, to me, it was the right move.
Bacon says what happened in Millville is not an isolated situation.
We know about the one in Lewis Fire Department. They suspended the guy, but they also need to make him do extensive diversity training.
Bacon is talking about in September of 2024, a firefighter was heard using a racial slur geared towards African Americans over the radio. With that incident and this recent hate crime charge in Millville, Bacon is now calling for proper training for all fire departments. Bacon says diversity training needs to be incorporated into the curriculum at the Delaware State Fire School.
The Chiefs Association, the Volunteer Fire Chiefs Associations, need to address it and need to teach their folks about being diversified. It may be a reason why you can't get new recruits in your fire departments.
Bacon says diversity training needs to be incorporated into the curriculum at the Delaware State Fire School.
I also spoke with the executive director of the Southern Delaware Alliance for Racial Justice. He says he wants the men accused to go to jail, but that will ultimately be up to the justice system. Live in Millville, Zakia Jennings, CoastTV News.
Thank you, Zakia. The Millville Fire Department says it is actively evaluating current policies when it comes to diversity and reporting inappropriate behavior, saying, quote, part of the training that we're going through is to come up with ways to show how you can report easily and how others can report on your behalf more easily, so you know this stuff gets handled. You know much sooner or closer to the actual event, unquote. And we do have more on this. We've been covering it from the beginning. You can find that information on the court documents on CoastTV.com. A Millsboro mother filed a complaint with the Department of Education over the treatment of her daughter at East Millsboro Elementary School. Tammy Johnson says her daughter has disorders that require special accommodations. Johnson says she was told the school was following her daughter's individual education plan when she acted out. State documents show that wasn't the case.
One stated that it was a fire drill and she acted out and they had to restrain her. Well, part of her IEP is transitioning and loud noises, where she has to be prepared and notified before certain things happen, and they have to remove her earlier, which they did not.
According to the state complaint decision, the district needs to conduct professional development with all special education staff regarding individual education plans by May 15th.
Moving to Ocean City, taxi fares haven't changed since 2014 until now. On April 21st, the mayor and council approved a fare hike. They say Uber and Lyft have been taking rides away from taxis for years. Also, costs for gas, insurance, and repairs kept going up, but taxi rates stayed the same.
You hadn't authorized a rate increase in over 10 years, and obviously they were struggling a little bit in a very similar market with the rideshare services.
Now, OC taxi cabs can increase initial fares from $3.20 to $4.16. Speaking of Ocean City, let's go ahead and take a live look outside. There is our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams has a look at our forecast.
Our forecasts are looking all kinds of summertime, but now here's the catch. Summertime sunshine, check. Summertime temperatures, check. Summertime pollen, unfortunately, we got to check that too. In fact, when we check it, yeah, it's something to deal with. Our Bay Health camera in Milford, though, right now, traffic is moving along very smoothly, with temperatures staying on the mild side. We'll drop down to 68 degrees with partly cloudy skies by 9 o'clock. A really nice day, to be quite honest. And we're not lacking, so we have the right amount of rain that's in place to keep us away from going to a, let's say, a drought situation. But we'll talk about the next round of rain, but most importantly, we're about to talk about some serious pollen problems, Maddie.
Paul, thank you very much. New tonight, cheaper housing and more of it. That's the goal of the Milton Planning and Zoning Commission. Coast TV News reporter Emma Aiken shows us people who live in the town say it's time for more choices that fit every budget.
A place to live in Milton.
Who wants to be up at night wondering how are you going to pay for this, that, and the third?
The Milton Planning and Zoning Commission agrees. That's why they're discussing two proposals with the goal of increasing housing options and affordability. The first, an ordinance to change zoning codes to allow accessory dwelling units, which neighboring areas like Milford and Lewis have already done. Milton local Victoria Daniels thinks ADUs could benefit the older people in town.
You need more senior living, something that is good enough for them, don't have to be too fancy, but just enough that, they'll be content.
The second proposal, a mandatory inclusionary housing policy, would require that new residential developments over 10 acres include a percentage of affordable housing units. Lindy Haynes, who lives in Milton, is on board.
I think it's a great idea. It's uplifting the people instead of being a product of their environment.
A growing town trying to make room for every budget.
The Milton Planning and Zoning Commission will discuss the two proposals and from there possibly make recommendations to the Milton Town Council. In Milton, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
In February, the Affordable Housing Ad Hoc Committee sent over 8 different recommendations to Planning and Zoning for affordable housing in Milton. One focused on working with nonprofit builders to use empty lots around towns for new homes, and if needed, Milton could also acquire more land through negotiations or legal sales.
Phase 4 of the Milton Overpass project begins today at the intersection of Route 1 and Route 16. You can see it on your screen there. DelDOT says the project will start to reroute cars and trucks heading towards the beaches across the new overpass as construction in the surrounding area continues.
A return to normal in Slaughter Beach, the Cedar Creek drawbridge now open. That's according to DelDOT. It ends a month-long detour there. The drawbridge closed in early March due to an unexpected malfunction.
Moving to Georgetown, where there is talk of potentially moving fallen patrolman Chad Spicer's memorial to a new location. This after it still hasn't been replaced since it was hit by a car in 2023. Georgetown Mayor Bill West says there are no official plans yet to move the monument, but that there is talk about constructing a memorial park at the new police station. However, Chad Spicer's family says they want to see the monument remain at the Circle. Spicer was shot and killed in 2009 while trying to stop a car involved in a separate shooting.
That was a very tragic night. Very tragic, and it was so horrible. And I don't want people to
forget his legacy on what he was trying to do.
While the memorial move is not on the agenda, neighbors are expected to speak out during the public comment period at the council meeting Monday.
And we are just getting started.
Spring Fest is back this week in Ocean City. What you can expect this year?
We're looking for mild conditions on Wednesday, but the pollens are about to go crazy. We have some summertime sunshine to go with the summertime temps over the next few days. I'll pinpoint where it's coming from.
Earth Day cleanup. Volunteers head to Slaughter Beach with trash grabbers for a day of service when we're back in just 60 seconds.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
Pieces of plastic, food wrappers, even a purse. You're looking at just some of the trash collected on Slaughter Beach this Earth Day.
DNREC and DuPont Nature Center staff organized the cleanup.
Coast TV News reporter and anchor Christina DeRobertis is in the newsroom. Christina, officials say most of the trash didn't come from Slaughter Beach itself.
Yeah, Maddie, they say all that trash and plastic likely washed up from somewhere else, and that cleaning it up makes a difference for animals and the community.
Armed with trash pickers, these volunteers offered some hands-on environmental help this Earth Day. Plus, it was a learning experience.
We learned a lot about the importance of the bay and how throughout history it's been just so important.
The main culprit along the shoreline? Plastic. But DNREC Secretary Greg Patterson says it's probably not from Slaughter Beach visitors.
It has gone in the water somewhere else. It has floated here.
The litter poses a risk for Slaughter Beach's horseshoe crabs and other marine life.
What you can see with this type of plastic is it's started to degrade. Means it's becoming more and more hazardous. It's getting in the bloodstreams of fish and other creatures that live in the sea.
And it can impact us too.
It can break down, get into rivers and streams, and that supplies drinking water. So that means when it breaks down, it's going to get into people's drinking water and into their bloodstreams.
It's why DNREC Deputy Secretary Dana Cobb says caring for the planet should not be just a once-a-year thing.
To get involved in Earth Day activities every day.
One bag of trash at a time, helping our beaches, our wildlife, and ourselves.
And there are a lot more Earth Day events coming up through the end of April. That includes tree plantings and guided nature walks throughout Delaware. We have a full list right now on CoastTV.com. Back to you guys.
And this brings us right into our Coast TV poll. We want to know, what's your favorite way to give back to nature?
Let's take a look at the updated results from last news hour. 24% say helping wildlife, 47% say recycling more, 17% say planting trees, and 12% say beach cleanups.
If you haven't voted yet, it is easy to do. Go to CoastTV.com or use your Coast TV mobile app, and we will show you updated results on Coast TV News at 11.
Well, if you're serving up an opportunity to play a little golf, listen, tomorrow's going to be an ideal kind of a day. Temperatures in the 70s, so it's going to be a hole-in-one kind of good. Summertime sunshine again. A summertime feel for today also gave us summertime concerns as it pertains to the pollen count. We have a detailed analysis for you coming up in just mere moments. Our tunnel and razor camera right now in Lewis, 80 degrees, winds out of the north, 4 miles per hour. Few scattered clouds for later tonight. We'll drop back to 64, partly cloudy skies by 10 o'clock. Currently, we're mild along the coast, the beaches, but then inland areas, we are still summertime warm. 78 right now in Milton, but 81 degrees in Georgetown, as well as Seaford. The winds, not so much a problem. No muss, no fuss thus far. We have the winds out of the west-northwest, gusting occasionally up to about 17 miles per hour, but nothing to really worry about. We have no active small craft advisories along the entire Delmarva coastal region, including the folks that view us in Cambridge. We always like to check in on the folks in Cambridge as well. We have a few light scattered showers actually around a small-scale low-pressure system that's well to our west. It's not going to bring much in the way of problems our way, perhaps a little bit of cloud cover. Now let's talk about the big deal for today. It's the pollen count. Dust and dander low, grass at moderate levels, but trees are at a high level and mold is at a very high level. That's probably why you're sneezing and wheezing. But we want to break down all 4 trees because I wanted to kind of take a look at what we're expecting for Wednesday. Bottom line is oak, ash, birch, and maple. All 4 are at high levels for today. So go ahead and take that medication. We're looking for sunny and mild conditions for us throughout the entire Delmarva Peninsula for tomorrow, with temperatures well into the 60s and 70s. Taking a look at our expectations for 8 o'clock Wednesday, we'll be in the 50s after enjoying temperatures in the 60s. So we stay mild and clear throughout the night. Thursday morning, 40s, mid-40s is where we start off inland areas, into the 50s along the beaches, and then we'll move to about 74 in Georgetown, 76 in Seaford, but much cooler along the beach. And we anticipate for Wednesday morning, starting off a bit cloudy in Ocean Pines, Ocean City, temperatures in the 50s. So it's going to be cloudy, but not necessarily cold, just kind of clammy a little bit. But then we will clear out nicely for Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, we're going to start off clear with temperatures in the 50s, and we'll stay clear most of the entire day. Our 5-day precipitation chances, listen, we're looking at a 48% jump in our chances of rain for us on Saturday. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in Chincoteague, we're not concerned about the rain. The rain holds off till Saturday there. We're looking for the rain to hold off at Ocean City Friday, 62 degrees. Fenwick Island, 68 degrees on Friday. And then in Lewis and Rehoboth Beach, we'll warm to 69 on Friday, 66 on Friday in Rehoboth Beach. So wrapping up, 56 for tonight, partly cloudy, 71 for tomorrow, above normal temperatures, and summer-like groove going with sunshine on Thursday. Finally, here's a look at your exclusive 7-day forecast here on Coast TV.
Thank you, Paul. Coming up this Friday and Saturday, head over to the Harrington Fairgrounds for the DSN Outdoors Expo. It's a free, family-friendly event, your one-stop shop for everything outdoor.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studio.
The Shorebirds kicked off their 5th series of the year, this time taking on the Augusta Green Jackets. And they got going at 11 a.m. earlier today. Close game in the 7th. Green Jackets up 1, and Owen Carey rakes one high in the air to right field, and it's gone. That made it 4-0 Green Jackets late. But Delmarva had some life in the 9th. Shorebirds down 5-0. Fernando Peguero rips an RBI single to make it a 5-1 game. Then with 2 outs and the bases loaded, Steven Ondina sends it deep to left, but it falls just a few feet short, and the Green Jackets take game 1, 5-1. And we're less than a week away from our new season of our ongoing docu-series Into the Trenches. This time, we follow the Cape Henlopen Vikings as they embark on a new voyage into their 2024 football season.
The late run last season, and then trying to explain that we're a different team.
You got to work harder because you went to the state chip, because there's a target on your head.
Understanding the stresses that these kids are under it's a little bit unique for me.
The expectations are high.
You're going to practice the way you play.
We can push even further this year and hopefully make a run for it again.
Into the Trenches, a new voyage. April 24th at 7:30 on the Delmarva Sports Network and DSN Plus. Sponsored by Preston Automotive.
That'll do it for sports. Have a great night, everyone.
Spring Fest starts Thursday in Ocean City. You can enjoy live music, crafts, food, workshops, and even a sunrise yoga class on the beach. And this is kind of cool, Paul, to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Ocean City. There will even be an anniversary floral garden.
That's awesome. 150 years, and they're still knocking it out of the park. Our Hershey's exterior camera in Ocean City, since we're there, right? 61 degrees. Will drop back down and stay in the 60s for the rest of the night with scattered cloud cover. Listen, our umbrella winner is Janice Henning of Millsboro. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration, Home Remodeling. Listen, keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line, sponsored by the law offices of Brugstead, Mandalas, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. We're staying above the norm for this time of the year for the next 10 days.
All right, thank you, Paul, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The NBC Nightly News is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great evening.